So Doom Patrollers, we've actually got some updates to talk about. I think the last time I made a Doom Patrol video in terms of Season 2, Jeremy Carver was saying how they haven't really even had the writers room meeting yet to exchange ideas with exactly how they're going to proceed forward. But now TV Insider's had an opportunity to pick Jeremy Carver's brain, so I thought I would go over what he said, what they asked him, and just give my own little take on it with Doom Patrol Season 2. So if you guys going to enjoy this video, leave a like on it as it really does show support for the Doom Patrol content, and of course subscribe for more updates like this. So as of when Doom Patrol Season 1 ended, guys, there was a few things that were left open, and I've had some people saying, but where are they going to go in Season 2? Are they really going to explore the background of these characters even more? Didn't they do that enough in Season 1? Is there really any room left? Well, there is so much room left, but there's even more room made with new characters such as Dorothy Spinner, who is of course in this adaptation the Chief's daughter. So I'm expecting so many things like flashbacks to more context of when he had the kid, and then obviously put her on Danny the Street to be safe when growing up. But they actually explore quite a bit into this in this little article on TV Insider. The first question tackles, the Doom Patrol did help Niles, but have they forgiven him for his betrayal? And this is such an interesting question to pose, just given the fact that what he did do, you know, and I agree, is absolutely insane with the revelation that Mr. Nobody got out of Niles Calder in front of the whole team. So yeah, I'm so excited for this in Season 2 with what the dynamic's going to be like between Niles and the team. So Jeremy Carver said, Mr. Nobody forced Niles to confess to the Doom Patrol that he had secretly orchestrated each of their respective tragedies that made them superhuman in order to further his research into immortality. They were understandably outraged, to put it mildly, and their anger won't assuage anytime soon. It's raw and unresolved right now, Carver explains. They all have time to come to grips with those feelings in Season 2, and because Dorothy was one of the reasons Niles experimented with immortality in the first place, Carver says the girl plays an integral role in moving forward. So coming out of that, I mean, this is at the same time very vague explanations from Jeremy Carver, because this is still very much so in the infancy of you know, just learning about Season 2, so it's even great that we've got this to talk about. I think what's gonna mold the team back together with Niles, and I don't think it will ever fully recover given that he was responsible for all of their tragedies, which is just, you know, something very obvious to understand as to why it would be hard for them to ever accept you know, or even go back to the same relationship they had before. But his daughter Dorothy Spinner, and I think the compassion and empathy everyone will have, and the support structure the team will provide for her, because if you guys know, I don't want to give away too much here because I'm not sure how exactly they're going to adapt it to the TV show. But Dorothy Spinner, just like a lot of the Doom Patrol, whether you're looking at a Negative Man or Robot Man, has disfigurement. She has her own abilities, which is insane abilities to bring anything in her imagination to life. So I think the team looking after her, relating to her, also, you know, with their own experiences of hardships and also powers, you know, coming to terms with them, I think that will draw them closer to Chief, maybe, just, you know, interweaving those characters and his daughter together. A lot of people were thinking the Doom Patrol forgave Chief a little bit too quickly, and I never really took it that way myself. It was more that they know this man, and he has been an integral part of each of the members of the team's lives at some point or another, and when he pleaded for their help with his daughter, they couldn't exactly. The thing about the Doom Patrol is, you know, as messed up or as rude as Jane may seem, or, you know, as disregarding as some other members may seem at times, they all do have a heart at the end of the day. And when Chief asked for that help, they couldn't exactly walk away. The next question TV Insider asks is, speaking of Dorothy, how does she fit in with the team? And Carver responds, not seamlessly for sure. The members of the Doom Patrol all have parental baggage or issues with children they have or had, says Carver. Now they have a child in their midst who is very demanding because of superpowers that she has that are somewhat uncontrollable. The girl, her role had yet to be cast at press time, is both lovable and a deadly force, continues Carver. They and Niles are going to have to figure out a way to keep the world safe from Dorothy. So just more kind of emphasis there, even though that this is a little girl who is, I guess, innocent, if you would say, a little girl with her abilities the team are going to be brought together with Chief, as it just said here from Jeremy Carver, to kind of protect the outside world from her, because she's going to be quite the handful and force everyone to kind of play nicely together. And I guess that's going to force conversations further along with people like Crazy Jane and Larry, well, every team member with Niles Calder at some point. As I said, I don't think they're ever going to get to 100% forgiveness, but I think many stepping stones will be made throughout the episodes of season 2. The next question that TV Insider asks Jeremy Carver is that will the Doom Patrol return to their normal size? In the finale, most of the team, with the exception of Negative Man, shrunk themselves in order to fit in the painting and defeat Mr. Nobody. But once they returned to our world by going inside Ezekiel the Cockroach, they didn't return to their normal statures. So will their diminutive size be an issue in season 2? In short, yes. It's a Doom Patrol pickle that feels very Doom Patrol to us, Carver laughs. So what I'm essentially taking out of that is they're not immediately going to get out of how small they are, but they definitely will, obviously. But what he says there is actually something I didn't think about, just in terms of, I thought, I guess, by the time season 2 picks up, or in the first several minutes, they would return to their normal size, or maybe they already had by the time episode 1 starts, with a little bit of a time skip. But I think he's hinting that maybe for the first entire episode, they will remain at a small size, with Larry trying to figure out, obviously conversing back and forth with people like Chief on how to get them back to their normal size. I don't think they're going to stay small, like that small, for multiple episodes, but as he says, it's a very Doom Patrol pickle that feels very Doom Patrol within itself. And as you guys know, as big fans of the show, that is very, very much so something the show would do probably for an entire premiere episode. So I can't wait to see that. But who knows? It could go on for longer, but just judging by how TV kind of stuff flows, I would doubt if it went past episode 1. Now, we've already been over the next question, but they asked, did Danny the Street make it out the painting? And he says, yep, and the sharp-eyed viewers can spot him in the last moments of the episode, according to Carver. If they look extremely close, they'll see in just what form he's made it out, which is Danny the Brick. You're probably seeing a picture on screen right now. This is actually something out of the comics. He has multiple different versions of himself, even going into his own world, Danny the World, which is something I would, I would love to see that if they ever somehow got to, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 seasons, and maybe they did an episode where Danny evolves into a freaking planet. That would be just crazy. But it's a bit more complex than that, Danny the World. But yeah, Danny the Brick, looking forward to see what they do with him, or maybe even something like Danny the Bungalow. Now, this next upcoming question is regarding Mr. Nobody, and I find it very interesting because Mr. Nobody, in my mind and from what I know, can always, in theory, come back, especially with his role with the Doom Patrol in the comics. But the way they adapted him on the TV screen is like, I thought, and I've addressed this in videos since season 1, if he comes back, he was so overpowered in season 1, how would he not be the main antagonist again? But I guess they would figure it out, because the question is, have we seen the last of Mr. Nobody and Mercenary, the Beard Hunter? And he said Mr. Nobody was a huge threat in the series' first 15 episodes, which I completely agree with. And as we saw in the last moments of the finale, he and his henchmen aren't vanquished. Mr. Nobody was hoisted by his own petard, and he remains trapped in this painting with the Beard Hunter, says Carver, who hints that viewers may see him again. I would assume that we could. So I think it is more or less a given. I would say that anyway. Seeing him in season 2, I don't know. If he just appears, though, I would think it would have to be a cameo appearance. Maybe seeing him still in the painting. I think that would have to be it. And then maybe if he escapes, they're just going to have to come up with a good reason. Maybe he will be with limited powers, but then again, that just could be, as what he said before, because he's trapped inside the painting. So yeah, very interested to see how they approach this if he escapes the painting. Other than that, maybe in season 2, if we do get cameos from Mr. Nobody and the amazing Alan Tudyk, it will just be him and Beard Hunter trying to figure out how the F to get out of that, blank canvas that they're in. But other than that, everyone, that's kind of everything I have for this update video. But I would love to hear from you down in the comments below what you thought of Jeremy Carver's explanations to these questions from TV Insider. How do you think, if Mr. Nobody will appear, since it's hinted in season 2, how will he escape the painting, or do you even think that he will? How do you think the team and their dynamic with the Chief will go forth off in season 2? Do you agree with me that obviously Dorothy Spinner and probably their care for Dorothy Spinner will once again kind of unite their relationship back with the Chief bit by bit throughout the season maybe? And also just let me know your thoughts on Dorothy Spinner in general. Do you think they're actually going to do the candle maker? I don't want to give too much away there, but I have kind of explained a little bit about him in my previous Doom Patrol video to do with the possible villains that we could be seeing in season 2. I think it may be a merge of different things, given how powerful she is, and maybe conjurings of her imagination. But other than that, guys, if you did like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you did leave a thumbs up on it. Subscribe for more Doom Patrol Season 2 updates just like this. And other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you Doom Patrollers in the next video. Goodbye.